What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the debut album from the band Gruesome, entitled Savage Land. This is released on Relapse Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of both California and Florida, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very cannibalistic, crazed, an old-school style of death metal. Yeah. This is a project that's pretty much relatively new. I believe it formed sometime around early last year. But the people who are involved with this project definitely have enough stroke and gusto to make this project a reality and to give it some sort of life. You have people that are involved with some very, very heavy hitters from within the worlds of death metal. You have Matt Harvey from Exhumed, you have Robin Mason of Derketa, you have Daniel Gonzalez, who currently plays for Possessed, and you have Gus Rios, who you may best know for his stint in Malevolent Creation. Just a heavy hitter, who's who amount of people involved in this project. And when I found out the kind of music that they were going to play, it was going to be very noticeable right away how entertaining that this could possibly be. This band is pretty much death worship. What I mean by death worship is the first two albums Death ever did, Scream Bloody Gore and Leprosy. Of course, Death is a very, very influential band within death metal. They, of course, the great Chuck Schuldiner, a very influential musician to many old and newer generations of metal. And of course, this is a band that definitely pays homage to the early days of Death's existence. And upon hearing some of the early songs that Gruesome had released, I was very excited to hear more and how this project was going to evolve. But once I saw the artwork for Savage Land, I was even more impressed and more excited to find out how this was going to be played out. Of course, you have the great and legendary Ed Repka doing the artwork for Savage Land. Of course, he did the artwork for the first three Death albums. Once again, I mentioned Scream Bloody Gore, Leprosy, and of course, Spiritual Healing. Just some amazing stuff. And of course, and now that that's out of the way, we have the debut full-length from Gruesome entitled Savage Land. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 35 minutes in length. And pretty much once you listen to this album, this is going to be an idea of what you see is what you get. What you listen to is what you get. This is a death homage band. This is a death worship band. But this is a death worship band that definitely has respect for its source material and plays in such a amazing manner. These guys are such professionals. They know exactly what they're doing, and with Savage Land, they probably deliver one of the most fun, old school, retrospective death metal releases you'll hear all year. Of course, once again, I reiterate, this is a death tribute band. Death worship, death homage. There are lots of other words to describe it. Keep that in mind, because regardless, you're going to have a great fun time any which way you put it. I mean, the guitar work on here is just so mesmerizing. Of course, once again mentioning the death worship, it is just all over the place. The influence is extremely strong. You hear it on the title track and then on songs like Demonized and Hideous. Even the self-titled song. You hear multitudes of riffs that definitely bring you back to the early 80s, mid-80s era of Death, when you heard such really good, well laid out guitar riffs. I definitely think it sounds awesome. This is a guitar clinic to be listening to, and definitely the way every riff, every lead, and every solo sounds just feels like an authentic old school death metal sort of record. Hell, you even have James Murphy, who played on Leprosy, doing some guitar soloing on the track Closed Casket. I think that's a really awesome solo that he does here, and as far as the rest of the solos and riffs are concerned, it is just a clinic. It really is awesome to listen to. The bass work on here is very good too. Definitely a great, warm, nice tone. Definitely reminiscent of the earlier sounds of Florida death metal and so on and so forth. I definitely think it sounds good. This definitely has a good production and mixing quality to it. It doesn't sound too too low or too high. It definitely has a great fit and sounds perfect, not too clean. It's definitely a very reminiscent, old school reminiscent sort of sound. The drum work on here is just tremendous. I love Gus Rios' drum style here. Definitely an old school drummer sort of performance. No high emphasis on blast beats, no crazy triggers or anything like that. This is definitely an authentic old school drums sort of performance. Great double bass, awesome snare work, good fills, just a lot of great entertaining moments to listen to on this drum performance. Definitely an old school metal drum performance being presented here. And when it comes to the vocals, of course you recognize Matt Harvey's vocals right away. He did a little bit of touring with the Death to All tour when that was going on, and he definitely has a voice that could be definitely reminiscent of the early days of Chuck Schuldiner. Very throaty, raspy, guttural sounding, definitely understandable, very well worded, entertaining vocal deliveries, entertaining lyrics. Definitely something that can speak to the fan of old school death. Scream, bloody gore, leprosy, death. This is what is represented here in the vocals and in the lyrics, and I think it is just a blast to listen to. So overall, this is an album that is definitely suited and geared to the fan of death, to old school death metal. Gruesome definitely delivers such an amazing package with this. I love how everything turned out. I love the way that it sounds. I love the execution. I love the respect and the passion being dedicated and presented here. It's just so fun to listen to. So if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say the title track, Demonized, Hideous. I think Psychic Twin is pretty good. It's one of the shorter tracks on here, but it just feels so right. And of course the closing track with heavy death influence. So I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will link you to the Gruesome Bandcamp page where you can stream this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can buy it digitally, and it is available physically in a wide multitude of formats: CD, 12-inch vinyl, cassette. I believe the cassette sold out. I don't know what the deal is on vinyl, but I'm sure there are plenty of CDs. And you happen to get the digital download, you'll get a deluxe version with 2 bonus covers. You get a Death cover of the song Land of No Return, and a Slayer cover of Black Magic. Both covers are great. Both covers are incredible and definitely worth listening to. This whole thing is definitely fun to listen to. So let me show you the album again. This is Savage Land by Gruesome. This is released on Relapse Records. Definitely check this out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a pretty solid 8.5 out of 10. Definitely an impressive debut, and definitely something for the lover of death and death metal. So, support Gruesome. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Army Ho out.